So one of the questions that was raised to me recently was, Jamie, do you have any training in regards to running a Facebook Live? I want to start doing them. I just feel like I don't know what to say once I jump on camera. If that sounds like you, then stick around. I'm going to go through a couple of things that have really helped me out in terms of increasing the, visibility of my lives and improving the quality of them as I go along as well. If this is the first time on the channel, welcome here. My name is Jamie. I cover internet marketing, affiliate marketing, how to get started online, and I specialize in the conversion of high-ticket affiliate marketing products. If any of that's of interest to yourself, feel free to hit that subscribe button and smash that bell icon to stay up to date with everything I'm putting out. All right, so you're looking at getting into some lives. You want to start getting your word out there, build your brand, and start selling to your audience. How do you go about it? How do you get over that initial thought of, oh God, I'm speaking to a camera? Might be people watching, there might not be people watching. How do I get over that? Look, it's something that we all face. There's very rare exceptions to that rule. I think there's some people that just inherently are good at speaking and they're good at jumping on camera and it's very natural to them. But for the rest of us, normal humans, it's basically, it goes through this patch where it just kind of sucks. There's no way to get over it other than just doing it. I remember when I started doing lives, I think my first couple I was just absolutely petrified. I'm not someone that finds it very easy to speak in public. I've never been good at that. In fact, that's probably my worst fear. I'd rather experience death than having to speak in front of people. In fact, that's actually a common thing for a lot of people. They would rather die than public speak. That's how afraid of it people are. Now, I know this isn't quite the same as public speaking. I mean, clearly it's just an inanimate object in the form of a camera or a phone or whatever it is, on the other side of your studio, your lounge or whatever it is, but I still get it. I still get the nerves from time to time, especially if I've got to present something that I'm responsible for. I'm responsible for answering questions for people. I'm responsible for creating, giving them a good experience and hopefully providing value as I go along. And I understand that the pressure you build up can sometimes be quite nerve-wracking. So how do you get over it? Now, I'm going to go back to when I first got started doing lives. I was petrified of it. It took me many months to not be petrified. Even now, sometimes I jump on and I do a live and I can still feel the butterflies tingling away in my belly as I'm about to start speaking, and there's no way for me to get over that other than just doing it. But here are a couple of things that have really helped me out. Number one is when I first got started, this is I'm going to say 2018, I started doing lives and I really took it quite seriously, sort of more towards the start of 2019. And at one stage I was actually doing 4 lives per day. I was going live in my own group, I was going live in another 3 groups. Not to mention I was also producing a YouTube video every single day. Now that was my daily thing. I was just doing lives everywhere. And of course, because I was doing it so often, it didn't really matter if people were watching me or not. I didn't care. I just wanted to get better at doing it. And sometimes I would speak about the same thing. Sometimes it would be completely different topics. So I'd literally hang up from one live, I'd jump over to another group, I'd start doing the live. And these were all parts of different challenges that were available at the time. So of course, throwing myself into the deep end, as it were, I started to improve my ability to speak. I started to improve my ability to communicate, and I started having, better thoughts and better train of thoughts in terms of my communication. Now, that's not always the case. I still have hang-ups about the way I speak and about the way that I communicate, and even people that have watched this channel have made some comments about, oh, you speak too fast, you speak too slow, or you sound like you've got a lisp, or you speak too sillily, because that's a word. And so I still get hung up about that, and here we go. I still stammer from time to time as well. So you kind of just need to get over it. That's the big thing. Force yourself to do it, and eventually it just becomes like riding a bike. You naturally are going to get better at doing it over time. So that's the first thing. The second thing is have a bit of a structure as to what you'd like to speak about. Now, it's the same, of course, for when you're recording things like YouTube videos. Have a rough idea about where the conversation is going to go, and it becomes easier because at least that way you've got roughly a sort of guideline of where you'd like to take the conversation. Or of course, if you'd like to get really fancy, you can actually put little cue cards. If you've got like a little camera, little tripod, and something beside your tripod, above it, whatever it is, even just a sticky note that sits on the back of it, and you've got a couple of bullet points that you want to refer to, at least you're going to have a bit of a framework of what you want to talk about. Now, a couple of tips in terms of lives, especially when it comes to Facebook lives in particular, but the crossover is the same if you're doing lives here on YouTube as well, is that you want to address your audience. Now, there's a very kind of fine art form with this one. Because if your audience jumps on, they start commenting, it sort of defeats the purpose if you're just like, hey person, thanks very much for joining me, and then you keep referring back to them, because then you're going to lose your train of thought, you're going to lose where you are, I guess, in your speech and your content, all that sort of stuff. So you do want to address them, you want to give them calls to action, you want to tell them to engage, because it really helps push the content further in the algorithm. Also helps to, I guess, let them know that they're there and that they are listening, they're taking action, listening, and they're basically responding to your calls to action, right? So anyway, going back to the very initial thing that you need to do is you want to introduce yourself. I do it every single time. You guys have heard my intro. Hey, how's it going? I'm Jamie, blah, blah. Thanks for being here. If you're interested in, learning how to convert your high ticket affiliate products, click that link, check it out. That's what I do every single time. If you've watched my videos for a little while, that's what I say every time. On my Facebook Lives, for example, I say pretty much the same thing, except this time what I say is, I asked for crowd engagement right off the bat. Hey guys, it's Jamie here. Thanks very much for joining me today. What I'm talking about is XYZ. If you do happen to jump on the live, drop a hashtag live. There's no reason for, sometimes I say other things just to see how it's going to go. If you happen to watch the replay, I'd appreciate the engagement. Smash that heart button, drop a hashtag replay, let me know that you're here. And of course, please feel free to drop any comments or questions along the way. I'll do my best to answer them. So I'm giving them a call to action right off the start. And of course, I've just gone through that initial intro where in like what, 15, 20 seconds, I've basically said what I'm going to be talking about. I've given a couple of little call to actions right off the start. And of course, if you want to start getting into pitching, guess what? You can also say things like, hey, by the way, if you're interested in learning more about affiliate marketing, you'd like to ramp up your results, go to jgcall.com and I'll be happy to provide some information, see if we're a good fit to work together. Anyway, moving on with it. So you see what I did there? I just very casually dropped that into conversation. By the way, if you're interested in learning more about affiliate marketing, I've got a free case study. It's going to take you from 0 to 10K per month. All you need to do is click that link below, or alternatively go to jgcall.com and you can check that out for yourself. And of course, if you'd like to work together, there's an option there to book a call. I'd love to have a chat and see if we're a good fit. So you can very casually start wrapping up your offers as part of that on a verbal basis, of course. So then after you've done the intro, you want to have a couple of ideas about where you want to take the conversation. So you want to start going through whether it's bullet points and you've kind of jotted them down and put them next to your camera or your phone or whatever you're using, or alternatively, if you've just gone through and written them out previously, you want to start going through those and telling people how it's going to help them out. And look, this is the thing. This is how you set up a live. This is how you do the thing. This is how I do them, and my structure, right? And then of course you want to reiterate everything you've done. So what I like to do is I go through everything I've done. So just to recap, guys, you want to start with a good solid intro. You want to get that down pat because that's going to make you feel at ease when you're going into it. It makes you feel sound very concise when you're going into your actual crux of your conversation. You want to go through a couple of bullet points that you've mapped out about how it's going to actually help them out. And you want to do a couple of call to actions, such as, for example, if you want to learn more about affiliate marketing, go to jgcall.com, and then you want to, at the end of it, just cap it off. By the way, guys, if you got any value from this, feel free to drop a comment. I'd love to hear more about what you're struggling with or what you'd like to learn more from me and moving forward. And of course, if you did get value, I'd love to hear more. Smash that heart button, and there I am. I'm just repeating myself, right? But from that process, you've now got a very basic intro. You've got the meat and potatoes of the whole thing, which is quite literally just the actual information you want to provide. And then there's no length. Like, I've had lives that have gone for like 15, 30 seconds. I've had lives that have gone for like over an hour and a half. I think the longest live I did was about 2.5 hours. It was just an absolute drain. But I've got a lot of information out there and the crowd was very satisfied. So there's no hard and fast rule with that. And the big thing that I would encourage you guys to do is don't feel like you need to be someone. Don't feel like you need to say certain things. If you see someone else making jokes, don't feel like you need to go and be all funny and jokey and stuff like that. If you see someone who's super serious, and that doesn't feel right for you, that's not how you communicate normally, then be yourself, right? Like I communicate as I am here. I do a lot of this waving around in my hand stuff, and especially in my Facebook Lives and my group, which you're allowed to check out below. I'm a bit of a clown. I joke around a lot. I swear from time to time. Like, I'll do all this stuff, and that's very me. That's who I am. That's kind of just how things happen in my life. So That's my way of communicating. And I think the more I did the lives, the more I have become comfortable with that prospect of me just being authentic and who I am, and not feeling like, hi guys, it's Jamie here. Thanks very much for joining me. It's great to have you, and I really appreciate your time. And if you would please like to leave a comment, that would be great. Sometimes, some days are like that. Yes, sometimes my brain is scattered and nothing comes out the way I want it and whatever. That's just life. That's just what we go through as part of this online journey. But don't beat yourself up over it. Like, it doesn't have to be perfect. There's one of the sayings that I really love. It's called done is better than perfect, because when you focus on being perfect, you'll never get it done. You're always trying to refine it. So the only way to refine it when you're going live, though, is that you just have to roll with the punches. You have to click the start button. You have to try and get out there, and then you have to try and provide some sort of value to your audience as well. What you can also do, and this is something that I am getting a little bit better at as I go along, especially with lives and YouTube videos and things like that. And it's an ongoing process as I start incorporating real life stories that have impacted me into that. And I think what happens is people start to get to know you on a little bit deeper level. So sometimes I reveal things like personal things, sometimes it's like a funny story that's happened, and a little exercise if you'd like to sort of go through that to get more information out and get some better stories out is quite literally spend some time jotting down everything that's happened in your life, good, bad or otherwise, and any funny anecdotes, any funny tales, any misunderstandings, any big events that have happened. You've traveled X, Y, Z, you've done this. It's, you've got what, think about like crazy headlines that you can throw out. What being robbed in Morocco taught me about killer whales or something like that. Like, weird stuff like that. But these types of things, when you start adding them into your marketing, it's what draws people in, because then they realize they're dealing with a human. And they realize that that human on the other side of the camera just has the same flaws as they do, and that makes them very comfortable. So don't think too much about the whole going live thing. Just pick up your camera and just hit the go button. And it's going to be very scary at first for those of you that are naturally introverted, but you get over it really quickly. And then you realize that why would I ever get scared of this little inanimate object that is now just projecting pixels and sound? Why would I get scared of that? I love using that thing. Why would I get fearful of it? It's fine. And then when you really accept that, then the kind of silliness comes out, and then you become more comfortable in your skin, and then it's fine. It becomes a lot easier from that point on. So anyway, to recap all that stuff, do a solid intro. Introducing yourself and what you're about and what the topic of conversation is for that day. Ask for audience engagement as you go along. Respond to their comments, of course, if they ask you a question, and get them to interact, because that helps build the the authority and the juice and the algorithm, I guess is probably wrong terminology, but you get what I mean. And go through 3 to 5 kind of key areas that you'd like to discuss as part of that. Weave in any stories that are relevant to yourself or relevant to the topic at hand. Do a recap. All right, guys, just a recap. You want to do an intro. You want to like exactly what I'm doing now. You want to recap by doing a recap. Intro, blah 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 blah. All that sort of stuff, and then finally just an outro, which is, by the way, guys, I really appreciate you joining me. And if you'd like to learn more about affiliate marketing and check out the free case study of how I went from $0 to $10,000 per month using nothing more than my social media profile, all you need to do is click that link below, check out the free case study. And if you'd like to work together, I'd invite you to do so as well. There is an option to book a call with me, and I'd love to chat to see if we're a good fit. So anyway, that's it for today, folks. I really appreciate you tuning in. My name is Jamie, and look forward to seeing you guys in the next one. Thanks very much.